Thank you. Good afternoon. Calling to order the Aurora Capital Development Corporation meeting for January 13th, 2026. Apologize for the delay. We just had a couple of little glitches. And the first thing I'd like to do is ask for a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next item, this is the amended, election of officers. I forget, we start with secretary?
Yeah, or you can ask if anybody wants to just make a motion to elect the current officers, re-elect current officers.
Yes. May I have a motion to re-elect current officers?
I move.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, aye. We have now re-elected Dinah Harris as secretary, Wes Steffen as vice president, and Sandy Schreiber as president. May I have a motion, please, to approve the December 9, 2025 regular meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, thank you. May I please have a motion approving the December 2025 expense report?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Next up, 523 Tap and Grill Loan. Mr. Watts.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year. Go Hoosiers.
Yes.
I wanted to present a recommendation this afternoon for 523 Tap and Grill, Inc. and the related loan to Katina Anagnos. As you could see, I'm trying to do a little bit of cleanup here. The first loan listed, which is listed as 1B, is a new loan with the proceeds of which will be used to pay off an existing loan with First Source Bank to the same borrower, 523 Tap and Grill, Inc. This is a loan that existed at the time of the first loan that was made by the Gateway Mile Loan Fund to the 523 Tap. And for whatever reason, I have no knowledge, there's nothing in the file that refers to that loan or why we didn't approach paying that loan off at the time. We didn't. And they were collateralized at the time and since the beginning with a first lien on the equipment and assets, all business assets of 523 Tap and Grill, Inc. When we made our loan, which is the residual balance of the loan 1A on page 2, we filed a UCC financing statement to perfect a lien on the business assets of the 523 Tap and Grill, the same assets. So immediately we were in second lien position at that time. And that was all the collateral we had for that particular loan. In the instance of First Source Bank, in addition to the lien on the business assets, they had a lien, a first mortgage lien, at least I believe it was a first at that time, on the 521 building, which is immediately and almost connected to the 523 building. The buildings are wall to wall to each other. The proceeds of our original loan, as I commented on in the memo, is that George and Agnos used our money to update the restaurant, expand the kitchen into space that actually went from the 521 building to the 523 building. And he took some space in the 523 building and made it a banquet space, which has been a very good business move for him over time and is used quite often. 5 years after our loan was made, our UCC financing statement expired. It did not get renewed. Unfortunately, there had not been a system established within the Gateway Mile Loan Fund to renew that lien position. I've been working the last year or so in correcting those errors from happening, but in fact, it did happen in this instance. So that left us, frankly, without a lien on the business assets. And the supporting collateral we have is a second mortgage on the 523 building, which is owned by Katina Anagnos. Originally, both buildings were owned by Katina and her husband. He passed away in 2022, and she now owns each of those two buildings. So we did have for what it's worth, a second mortgage lien on the building that she owns that collateralizes personal guarantee of George Anagnos to the loan that we have. What I'm proposing for this new loan 1B is that we would file a UCC financing statement on 523 Tap and Grill Inc. First Source would have to release their lien on the business assets. We would also take a mortgage lien on the 521 building that Katina Anagnos owns to collateralize his personal guarantee on this new loan that we're proposing. And First Source would then release their mortgage lien. So when the dust settles after the closing, we would have a first lien on all the business assets of the restaurant. We would have a first mortgage lien on the 521 building, and we would maintain the second lien position on the 523 building. All the documentation for the mortgages would be, of course, be signed by Katina Anagnos and acknowledged by George for the effect of his guarantee. So we have last week, the Gateway Mile Loan Fund did approve this structure that I'm recommending for loan 1A and 1B for the Tap and Grill. And we also approved the renewal of the Katina Anagnos mortgage loan under the terms that I've recommended in the memo. The Aurora Capital Development Fund has held a 30% guarantee on the existing loans that we have, and I'm requesting that you would add a 30% guarantee to the new loan 1B so that we would maintain a common collateral agreement position going forward. The operation of the restaurant has gone reasonably well over the last few years. It did not cash flow well in 2024, which is somewhat understandable. I found that the economy in general and the economy as well locally was not as strong in 2024 as it became in 2025. And I think currently, actually, a lot of that had to do with, I think, was a national election year, a lot of uncertainty at the time. And as you know, we were going through a fairly high inflationary period. Through that period in 2023, 24, which hurt our local economy a fair amount as its impact on the recreational vehicle industry hit us. So I believe that's understandable. I think George has done a very good job of managing his expenses throughout his ownership here. He learned a lot in the early years and kind of has a pretty well-oiled machine going here now. He's been responsive to me. They've been timely in their payments, and he effectually makes the payments on the mortgage loan for his mother, and he deducts the interest cost in that loan for his business cost. Technically, he does not have a lease with his mother. He didn't have a lease with his father and mother when the father was alive either. But he's been servicing the loans. So I think this is a much better structure for the Great Gateway Mile Loan Fund and for the Aurora Capital Development Fund. As I've proposed it, puts us in a first lien position on all the business assets of the restaurant for what they're worth, and also puts us in a good position with both parcels of real estate. My recommendation is contingent upon getting an updated appraisal on each of those buildings, and that our loan to value for the combined exposure would not exceed 90% loan to value, which is consistent with our parameters for both loan funds. So with that, I'd be glad to open it up for any questions.
Do I understand what's happening is Gateway's making an additional loan to pay off First Source?
Right.
And then will it have two loans outstanding that we're guaranteeing?
Yes, I'm deciding to keep them separate as separate loans just for clarity, if you will. To me, it's more clear that way. But yes, the answer to that is yes. We'll have two loans instead of one, but we will be in a first lien position going forward on the business assets.
And our exposure is the 30% guarantee.
Correct. On
New loan.
on the new loan.
And we still have a guarantee on the old one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not changing that. So that continues to decrease, of course, as the principal balance of the loans go down.
What's the amount of the new loan?
The amount is it'll be subject to the final payoff. The high water mark when I wrote this memo was $69,000. They've been paying monthly payments, so it's going to be less than that. It'll probably be somewhere between 66 and 69,000. It's taken quite a while to get this accomplished. Originally, I'd asked George to approach First Source to see if they would consider paying us off. They took a long time to underwrite the request. There were delays on their part. There were delays on George's part getting them all the information they requested. And ultimately, I had a couple of discussions with First Source, and I thought they were going to approve it, but ultimately they decided not to, which to some degree I understand. And it was easier for them to say no than to say yes. And that's what they did. So that's why I'm here today, to kind of get this in a better position. Any other questions?
So If you want to approve it, you'd need a motion to approve the 30% guarantee of the new loan that Gateway is making to 523 Tap and Grill.
Yes, and I'm assuming I need an approval to renew each of the other two loans because they've each matured.
Well, would you get that from Gateway?
I got approval from Gateway last week for
Okay.
all three loans, renewing the old ones and subject to your guarantee approval and the new loan.
So it would be a motion to approve the renewal of the existing guarantee of the original loan and to approve a guarantee of the additional new loan.
Yes.
So move.
Second.
I'm a little stuck here. Excuse me. Loan number 2. Are we renewing that as well?
Yeah, that was the motion to renew the guarantee on the existing loan
That one.
and to approve the guarantee on the new loan.
Okay.
There are two existing loans,
Yeah, that's where I got confused.
one for the Tap and Grill and one for Katina and Agnos.
Okay.
Yeah. So which, are we guaranteeing all 3?
You have previously guaranteed the Katina and Agnos loan, and you currently guarantee 30% of each.
Right.
The existing 523 Tap and Grill loan with Gateway. So I'm asking for renewal of each of those limited guarantees, 30%, and then a new 30% guarantee on the new loan 1B.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Thank you very much. I secondly wanted to bring you up to date on the circumstances of the PJ Limes loan. Our most recent, that is a loan directly with the Aurora Capital Development Corporation. You may recall that we refinanced the existing debt and lent them some new money to complete the acquisition of equipment that they needed, enabling them to open their restaurant, which they did. They formally opened the restaurant in August, but they informed me, I met with them today, and they officially informed me that they've closed the restaurant effective at the end of December. A lot of things had transpired, and I won't take your time today to go through all of those things, but the long and short of it is that the building was sold to a different owner in December. The lease that had existed expired in December of 2025. And the new owner wanted a new lease, which would have been much more expensive than the old lease. Their reasoning for it was that with the restaurant opening in that building, the insurance costs for the building really went up significantly. And so they wanted a higher rent. And the owners of the business, our guarantors, Sonny and Tiffany Cruz, didn't believe that they could afford to pay that rent. And with everything else that was going on in their personal lives, having to do with health of older adults, serious health problems, they felt that they should close. And ultimately, they sold the equipment in the restaurant to a new tenant in the restaurant. They did not consult with us, and they really didn't have a total right to do that without our involvement. But the facts are that they did. And we had, at least as of today, we've not received the proceeds of that sale which were about $3,500. The PJ Limes owes us $25,570 and some change, 20 cents, I think. So that's our outstanding loan. I did have a conversation with Mike Huber this afternoon where we'll have more conversations about how we might go about trying to restructure the loan that we have on the books with the goal of them ultimately repaying us. We may not be able to obtain all of the interest that we are due. In fact, my recommendation probably will be that we stop accruing interest and we just work out a plan with them on somewhat of a 6 months to 12-month basis of continually working to restructure the payments to a level that they can afford to cash flow and ultimately get us paid back. And if they're successful in doing that, I think at some point we could go back to charging interest, collecting interest. But right now, I think we'd be happy just to get some principal paid back. So my point is just to give you somewhat of an awareness of the situation. It's not where any of us or they wanted it to be, but they've expressed a desire to still repay us. I might remind you that they went for 5 years of the original loan where they didn't have a restaurant, and they did pay us back about $20,000 of an original $30,000 loan. So they've proven in the past the capability of operating a catering business and their food cart business successfully enough to pay back a significant amount of debt. So God willing, and their health staying well, then they theoretically could do that again. And that's kind of the plan I'm going to be working towards with Mike and with Gary's guidance, and a little more evaluation of where they are, what their obligations are, not just to us, but to other people and entities like payroll taxes and sales taxes and things like that, which with such a small operation, that's not a lot of money. They owe us a lot more than what they'll owe the government for those taxes. But I think we're motivated to try and see if we can help them move this along in a way that they can absorb and we can ultimately get paid back. So with that, I'd be glad to open it up for questions. I haven't given you a lot of information, but I'll be working with Mike and Gary primarily as we move along. And Sandy, I'll keep you informed. I assume you'd like that.
Are they able to do their catering without a place?
They are. They were before, and they are. Yes.
Well, that'll help.
Yes, quite a bit.
Any questions? Thank you very much, actually.
Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Now I've lost my agenda. We're at the end. Yep. Okay. Any other business before the Aurora Capital Development Corporation meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We will start the redevelopment commission meeting in just a few moments.
Welcome aboard.